Alright, let's get out of the way. Don't forget to subscribe, hit that like button, leave a comment if you like. The Angel Next Door Spoils Me Raw in episode 3 starts off with some girls at the door and he opens it and I'm thinking, wait, isn't he a loser? Does he have any friends that are girls? And then it turns out to be, it's his fucking mom. And he refuses to let his mom in because a girl next door is in his apartment. He doesn't want to let her in. And so he says, hey, thanks for coming around and it was cool seeing you again, so see ya. And then he tries to close the door, but she doesn't let the door close. She says, oh, a rebellious phase, eh? But he tries to close that fucking door tight, but that doesn't work, because then she busts that door open and says, don't forget who pays for this rent, so don't test me. So she walks into his apartment, and what she sees first is that the room's really clean. He's a really messy person, so that's kind of strange. She also notices that he's taking care of himself, good skin, healthy diet, everything like that. And that doesn't seem like him, so she's thinking, there's someone in here. So the Angel's in his room and he said, I'm going to try to take my mom out of here, and while she's out, you run through the door and get inside your house and then I can bring her back in. But his fucking mom will not let up because she keeps asking, what's in that room? You look very suspicious. Open that door. She's such a great detective that if this is Death Note, I feel like Light would have gotten caught. So she rips that door open and you won't believe it. The girl didn't move, didn't try to hide. She was just sitting down, sleeping on a pillow. And I'm thinking, why didn't you fucking hide? I'm serious. Everyone's super surprised. They're surprised, I'm surprised, and this girl seems to be sleeping. But thankfully his mom doesn't say, alright, get out of the house. You don't deserve to be in this apartment anymore. This is what you're doing with your high school life? Stuff like that, but instead she says, whoa, you have a girlfriend? She's so cute. But if you watch anime, you already know this is a trope where she says, is that your girlfriend? He says no, but in the future they end up together. And she wakes up, but she does the stupidest face ever. I didn't know I was asleep. You were supposed to leave or hide or something, but she didn't do any of that. But I guess it's okay, because now all the running, the hiding, and the awkward shit just doesn't matter anymore. But his mom goes on and on about him being his girlfriend and stuff like that for about 5 minutes, which is pretty boring seeing this shit happen. But I guess in anime, the parent has to come over and really like the girl so that the girl knows that they can end up together. So after they figure out that they like each other and he calls her cute and she thinks she's alright, then nothing really happens. She just gets up, leaves, and says, alright, well, that's done. I did my job. See you later. And when she leaves, they both go and sit on the couch and they just talk about the fact that she was really weird and how forward she is by calling her by her first name, because in Japan, the only people that should call you by your first name are those who are close to you and your family. But she's neither. But she feels the Angel is like a daughter or his wife or someone very close, clearly. And that's what they talk about on the couch for 5 to 6 minutes. And just to seal the deal of them ending up together, he gave her a key so she can leave the apartment, but she didn't leave. And she says, here's your key back. And he says, you know what, you can keep it. You're going to need it later for the story to keep going. How else are we going to be able to end up together if you don't keep that key? Oh, and I forgot to mention, while they're talking about names, she says that her own family doesn't call her by her first name because they don't consider her close. And I swear, only in anime, because he says, you can keep the key. And she says, aren't you afraid that I might just come in here and do a lot of stuff? He says, what do you mean? And she says, I might take out your garbage without you knowing, or stock up on food, or clean your dishes, and that might annoy you. He says, you know what, just for you, you can do that. It doesn't bother me at all. If it makes you feel better, then great. So basically he gets to live a really lazy life while she does all the hard work. So the next day he arrives at school and the test scores are posted. He looks up to the first spot and of course, it's the Angel Girl, and everyone's like, who else could it be? Not us. We would never want to be the first place. We're too stupid. And so with that being said, he figures out that she got first place and he gets a cake for her. And so that night he says, I saw that you got first place. Good job. And she says, well, it's no big deal. I usually always get first place. And so they start flirting with each other for about 5 more minutes. And you think, wow, that's a lot of boring episodes. He feeds her in the mouth and she feeds him in the mouth. And then he says, see, isn't that kind of weird? And she says, yeah, well, it's better than nothing. And it feels like they have the same type of animation, or they have little animation left, because they'll have a 5 to 10 minute eating, just talking scene about how their day was and what they feel about. And I think, okay, and anything more interesting? I don't really relate to that, so keep going. And it's usually just a cute girl saying, oh, don't worry about how hard life is. And he says, life's hard. It's very tough. And that's just how it goes. So his friends are also thinking that there's a girl in his life because he looks a lot better, and he looked complete shit back then. And just to make sure, they invite themselves to his apartment on Valentine's Day. But the only bad part is that when he goes home and he tells the Angel Girl that she can't be in the apartment that day and she has to do something else, she gets very sad because she doesn't want to hang out with anyone else. The only people asking her out were boys, and she doesn't want to do that right now. And so his friends come over and they start eating pizza and stuff like that, and they talk for a really long time. And honestly, why does she sit in his lap? That's kind of weird. She should get the fuck off. But after they figure out that there's no girl here, they say, alright, let's go outside and get a fresh air before we leave. They walk outside and you won't believe who's out there. It's the angel girl. She doesn't know how to hide for shit, and who knows if she's gonna get caught or not. Alright guys, that's the end of the video. Peace.